Egypt's startup ecosystem is one of the fastest growing in the region. With hundreds of startups emerging every year, we need accelerators to help them grow and scale up fast. And accelerators need strong tools, networks, and global exposure to keep pace. In 2023, 500 Global partnered with ETIDA to bring our Bootcamp for Accelerator managers to Egypt. The objective is to help accelerators support the next generation of Egyptian entrepreneurs.
500 brings in its best-in-class know-how and expertise on running accelerators around the world to elevate the market in Egypt and train other accelerators, whether they're corporates or banks or angel investors or universities that are looking to launch accelerators and cultivate talent and continue our innovation strategies across different sectors, across different stages. We want to share what we know and do very, very well.
One program that we've been running that we're very proud of is a Bootcamp for Accelerator manager in Egypt. Egypt has been one of the most amazing places for talent, but that talent needs access to mentorship, needs access to education, and accelerator managers are catalyzers for it. And in the Egypt ecosystem, we believe that's been very instrumental to amplify the training to the entrepreneurs through the accelerator managers. And we've been very proud to have partnered with ETIDA, who has been very instrumental in every single piece of the ecosystem enablement that we've been doing in Egypt.
BAM program is one of the most important programs because in the vision of ETIDA to foster and support the ecosystem of the entrepreneurs and startups in Egypt, bringing along 500 Global to not just enable the ecosystem, rather than enable the enablers in the ecosystem to strengthen the quality of the support with global knowledge or the global know-how. Building a public and private collaboration between ETIDA, MCIT, and 500 Global has directly contributed in the strategic support of the ecosystem. Having accelerators all over Egypt governorates, not just in Cairo, plays a very critical role as an essential driver for the economic transformation in Egypt. They don't just support the ecosystem arms, but rather than they create jobs, facilitate investment, and find solutions that's innovative for the long-standing challenges that we are facing in Egypt.
500 Global exists to uplift people and economies. And we truly believe that it takes a village to raise strong founders and help them grow. The Bootcamp for Accelerator managers fulfills that purpose by connecting different types of enablers together so that we can grow and support the founders in Egypt. Not only that, but we also connect these founders through our global presence and several programs all across the world together, building bridges between countries and continents. Over the past 3 years, we've trained 3 cohorts of accelerator managers all throughout Egypt, including everyone from universities to government, corporates, and the private sector. Since launching BAM in Egypt, we've seen a lot of positive changes in the ecosystem, arguably more than what we expected.
When I joined BAM, it was my first year as an accelerator manager, program manager, and I didn't have that much experience in that side of the entrepreneurship world yet. I had the experience as an entrepreneur, but not as a program manager. And joining BAM actually helped me to accelerate my career and learn more about the best practices and apply it in my daily operations, and that helped me to take the steps I've taken so far. Joining BAM reminded me with how it's like to be an entrepreneur. And I came up with the spirit that I would like to build something. And this is actually where we decided that we should be more invested in building startups. One of the major challenges that we have always had with startups is the startup founders' dedication. We started to activate our venture builder. We came up with an idea, we've done a design sprint, development sprint, and we came up with a viable startup and got even clients for it in just 2 months.
BAM program helped me in different ways. The most importantly, it helped me become more organized as a program manager. The toolkit that was provided to us supported us in creating more organized and more structured program and enhancing it and expanding it and letting me get the chance of managing bigger projects and bigger programs, helping me structure it in a very organized matter in terms of technology, in terms of curriculum, in terms of planning and resource planning. And that really helped me in enhancing the program efficiency in a very different way, leading relationships and creating more programs with big DFIs and supporters of the entrepreneurship ecosystem.
BAM motivated me to start my own business. I started my little baby startup, Business Hubs. Business Hubs is mainly focused on investment hunting, business consultations, and investment analysis. I was leading Accelerator here in Egypt, and I was a content manager. I was confused if I'm right or wrong, so I joined BAM to know the correct expressions, to know the correct program.
The very first thing was to concentrate on the program thesis, and this is something that we worked on in our programs afterwards. And the other thing is to have an acceleration curriculum. And we worked on developing our own curriculum after the acceleration cycle. One impact BAM had on the programs is that we decided to focus. So we've been having, yes, specialized acceleration cycles, but we became a little more specialized, even concentrating on technology accelerations. And this is reflected in our latest cycles. So one is in IoT and analytics, and the other cycle is concentrating on green technologies. After BAM, we worked on the green tech program, and in that sense, we were very focused upfront on the thesis of the program. And also during the program itself, there was the development for the acceleration curriculum that we worked on. And the outcome was fantastic, with several startups from all over Egypt working into environmental friendly technologies.
I attended the program a few months before the launch of Royal Future Tech, and this really helped me set the right foundation to kick off our programs. It helped me really put things into perspective and make sure that we're aligned on our goals, that everything is clear, how to measure our success, how to get the right deal flow, and how to reach out to startups and make sure that I really get the right startups for our corporate. BAM really opened my eyes on the importance of mentorship. And this is why I decided to make sure that mentorship is always at the core of our programs, because our main edge at Royal Future Tech is to give access to all the startups that work in one of the business lines that we already work in, the technical know-how, the on-ground expertise, and the network that we have at Royal that we got to build over the past 25 years. And this is why we created a system where throughout our programs, we always matchmake our startups with our experts at Royal, whether it's CEO, C-1 or C-2, to make sure that they give them mentorship and guidance, and also discuss potential commercial partnerships or proof of concept, and eventually investment.
The technique I liked in BAM program was the office hours technique. I actually got inspired from the way they run the office hours, and the next cycle of our incubator was totally based around the office hours technique. We've decided that we should sit more with the startups, help them with their pressing challenges, connect them with mentors that can solve the challenges, and things became more than just organizing a networking event. It is actually, we have a startup and we have a challenge, and we're sitting here today to solve this challenge, and this has changed the way we operate. One of the activities that I've enjoyed the most in BAM was the role play activity, where investors interview startups, and then we had a discussion to discuss what was going and if this startup is recommended for this investor or not. This is actually has helped us to see how investors think and what our investors are looking for at startups. And through our consultations later with the startups, we've managed to give them very productive feedback that has helped them to impress investors in a way that they have never been able to do before.
One of the best parts of the program is the connections that happen during the program. We've built good relationships and good experience together, that which led to a lot of opportunities being created between program managers and each other, which led to an opportunity for us to exchange pipeline, content, activities, experience, even supporting and partnering up in events. And that was the most important part for me in BAM, bringing everybody in one place and exchanging all the knowledge that we can.
I really made really good connections throughout the programs with people that I'm still in contact with today, whether it's to invite them in our events or ask for their advice in something. We're currently working on a very exciting project. We're building it at the moment with one of the connections that I made through the program.
We knew many of those who came for the training, the BAM training back in 2023. However, being present together for 1 week, it reinforced the connections. So right now as we speak, we're having a little project that is growing with TEEK. But before that, we've been having a connection with TEEK that they were asking us about our alumni, and we've been channeling them to programs that they can make use of. Other programs in the ecosystem, we've got to learn about them, and accordingly, yes, there had been some sort of knowledge exchange with some of the alumni. We've hired some of the alumni into our programs, so it was very beneficial in that sense.
I did a partnership with Mustafa from SIAC and Malawani from Mint.
In 500 BAM program, we have met a lot of wonderful people, whether organizers or alumni. And later on, I had many events that I really made use of those connections. Like we had the reception, we had a program with the European Investment Bank. We had some people coming from Europe and from Portugal, and the people really needed to meet the ecosystem. And the alumni made a perfect example that we have amazing people operating in the entrepreneurship ecosystem in Egypt.
What's coming up next is the deep technology. Now, Egypt has been quite active in the startup ecosystem over the past 13 or 14 years. However, what we really need to tap into is the science and research and innovation potential at the universities. There is so much knowledge there at the universities that we know of. However, we need to work a lot more on the valorization of such deep technologies.
The next big opportunity is whatever the AI is making in the ecosystem. So everybody's changing the way they have used to operate. All the startups have been operating in a way, but after the AI has entered, things are changing. So I think that business support organizations have more responsibility to enable the startups to use AI and make it to the new era.
I think that the fintech industry is booming in Egypt, and the new regulations have made things so much easier for startups. And because we have a very big unbanked population, so I see a lot of opportunities.
Our alumni are real leaders, forging stronger connections and supporting founders and growing Egypt's ecosystem. BAM was just the beginning. With these empowered accelerators and a more connected community, we believe Egypt is on track to unlock its full entrepreneurial potential. We can't wait to see what our alumni do next.